Uh, it's me and Dr. V. And let me tell you something. He was a TV star today. I thought he wasn't going to be able to fit us in. We understand last Sunday with the
Great.
kids and all that stuff right on. But today, Mr. Louisiana, it's happening. But he went in, worked it out. They said, man, you the man. And then they said, now we'll let you go back out to talk to the rest of the world. Me and Dr. V, what's going on, baby? What's going on, Dr.
What's
V?
going on? It's we got the holidays coming up, all kinds of good stuff.
Okay, well, we've got up on the post on YouTube how we're going to go with this. I'm going to keep coming back. This is becoming my album of the century, at least album of the year, and it's going to go 2026 because I'm now starting to destroy it. I'm like getting bummed because it says it like it is. Spartacus,
Spartacus is here.
There he is. We love him. But we're up, but there's a couple changes I had to make to the description and to what we're doing tonight. We are going to be talking about the Republican mutiny. Last week, those of you who are with us know that I gave my predictions for what was going on. And I said one of the major ones, it was so obvious, is going to be the breakup of MAGA and the Republican Party. Well, it's starting already. It's really starting to cook. It's just happening, and we're going to get to that. The first thing I want to jump into, though, which is something we have to really look at because people go, is Venezuela. Foreign policy isn't what people want to hear that much, but as you know, Trump has talked about, or he is putting in effect, some type of embargo, naval embargo around Venezuela where they're coming out with the oil or tankers or whatever. Today, not just maybe an hour ago, the New York Times reported, the Post reported, and I'm sure all the others did, that Venezuela is sending out their Navy with those tankers of whatever the oil products are to protect them and guide them on the way out. Hey, this is gunboat diplomacy. We lived through this. Now, we didn't live through Remember the Maine. Remember the Maine was the Spanish-American War where mysteriously the Maine, an American boat, blew up in Cuba, and we suddenly had a reason to go to war with Spain so that Cuba would become independent. We thought we'd become big buzz with them, which we were until Fidel Castro came around. A setup. Vietnam. We were in there. First, Dwight Eisenhower sent them in. JFK sent in. They were trainers. And LBJ sent in trainers. Lyndon Baines Johnson. All of a sudden, we hear about some naval thing in the Gulf of Tonkin, the Gulf of Tonkin Bay Resolution that came up. And it ends up, as history looks at it, nothing really happened. Maybe a little speedboat came by and shot some water on some American boat. Nobody knows. But that was the reason to blow into Vietnam and send in the troops, okay? Now, here we are. What are we doing? What is going on? Give us a good reason. We are now talking about blockading Venezuela and having the Venezuelan Navy come out, protecting their boats, moving forward as they go. What are we going to do? I'll tell you this. Now you're talking predictions. If that happens, we've got to, as wrong as it is that we're doing this, as wrong as it is, if you're going to do it, you got to do it. Okay, I don't know if Trump has the backbone. He sure doesn't have the Secretary of Defense who has any brains to be able to do this. He can't even do the pull-ups. He's just horrible. So, but if you're going to engage, then you better take them out and end it quickly at whatever you're trying to do. No troops on the ground. You just do what you got to do to the Navy and just shut it down and end whatever the confrontation is. Once again, let me just say what I said, Joe, and to everybody. I'm totally against this. We shouldn't be blockading. We shouldn't be blowing these people up. There are other things we should be doing, okay? Nothing at all, right? That's all it was. That's where I stand. But if we are in a position where we have to confront, then it can't be any pitter patter. They got to do it, not a little bit here and a little bit there. You got to do it. Yeah, Pete Hegseth. You have to get Pete out of that. Possibly the keg. I assume he's out running around with that. You see that outfit he wears? I don't want to get into it. So this is a real issue for us. And everybody's got to think about this. Now, Keep it. And if this happens, we're talking about real issues, real problems, because then we end up going into Colombia. But the focus would be Cuba after this. So are we looking to take out Maduro? Are we looking to take over their oil? And keep this in mind. Chevron, an American company with the billions of dollars, is down there, and we're doing nothing to stop their boats from pumping out gas and ends up pumping oil and sending it everywhere because the president just loves helping billionaires. And he's a businessman and doesn't want to hurt American business. What an answer that is. I don't know what other reason there would be, Joe. I just threw it out there, okay? I got absolutely no idea. So you have that going on, but he could shut it all down with Chevron down there, but he won't do it. So now we have to start looking. Where are we going to go? Are we going to Cuba next? All the talk is if we start fighting here, we go to Cuba. Are we going to try to take out Maduro? Maduro is a bad guy. He's a horrible guy. Anybody just look at my Just an American Citizen from like 5-6 years ago. I got stuff on Maduro. He's a thug. He's horrible. But should we be doing this? He lost the election, but should we be doing this? I don't know.
Well, what's our track record for taking out bad guys?
Well, I told you got Vietnam.
0 for 1.
Well, we got a little bit of land on Spain. It doesn't do us too much. Iraq, Libya,
0 for 2, Afghanistan.
Just pick it up and just we roll with it. We're just so good. But that was all troops, Joe. And I think you're right. I mean, you know how I feel. But I think we're not.
It always starts out where it's not going to be troops.
Well, right.
We're going to be advisors. Don't you remember we're advisors in Vietnam?
Well, that's what I said before the Gulf of Tonkin resolution. Yeah. We were advisors and then did that. But the thing, I don't think that's where I could be wrong. I don't think this is Trump's head. I'm just strictly telling you what I think. I don't see him sending in troops because there's nothing to gain by sending in troops. But if he goes in there and just smashes them and takes out Maduro or thinks he can take out Maduro, and maybe this woman who won the Nobel Peace Prize goes in because she won the election, who knows? Because she'll just be looked at like the Yankee backer. So Yanqui, the Yankees, they hate the Yankees. So that's us. I hate the Yankees. That's different to me. So but you have that. So we just be the interlopers again. We be coming in. What good does that do? Where are we going to go? And then what it does, let's take a step further. It tells Vladimir Putin that what he's doing in Ukraine is okay.
Right, sure.
It just rolls it right on in there. It's absolutely horrible. Now, remember this. Tonight, I mean, this is exactly what he's dreamed of, Trump. So tonight, he has his primetime address. Normally, primetime addresses are given to talk about war or this. The word is there's nothing he's going to talk about except I'm going to call it from what I've heard. Who knows? We'll find out later. Another Mark prediction. Mark's been pumping out the predictions. Look at our last live stream. Almost 18,000 people watched us. Please feel free to check it out. It's on Just an American Citizen. Where was I on that, Joe? Every time I do that, I lose my
predictions for tonight.
Yeah, it's going to be the victimization speech. It's all Biden's fault. All Biden's fault tonight. Now, it's going to be, all new stuff.
That's getting a little bit thin, I think.
Oh, come on. It's all new. You never heard this before. You never knew. It's going to all be, I could be wrong, but it's going to be all Biden's fault. And then he's going to say, you're wrong. Affordability is great. And prices are going down because oil's going down. But then I put on my X account, which is Howard, by the way, on X, if you're looking, I put on my X account that, okay, oil prices are coming down. But housing prices, if you own a house or you have an apartment, your utility bills are flying up like there's no tomorrow.
How does that work?
Right. And how is that going? You're not living in a car, are you? Are you living in a car, Joe? I hope nobody has to live in a car. Forget the RVs. I hope nobody has to live in a car. But nope. Here it is. So you get oil, you get gas once, twice a week. You need your utilities running all the time. And that is what costs real money. That's affordability. He doesn't see that. We've got that problem. We have inflation. We have unemployment slowly going up. And now this is what our title was about the mutiny of the Republicans. Now you've got the Republicans saying to Speaker Johnson, hey, we got to have a vote on extending the Obamacare subsidies. That's what we've got to do.
That's great.
Okay. And then so 4 Republicans have broken from Trump because the speaker, he only does what Trump tells him. They broke from Trump, and now we're going to have a discharge petition, and they vote on it. And what they're voting on is a clean 3-year extension of Obamacare. Now, the subsidies, that's never going to pass. But what it does is it gets it out and sets everything up for negotiation. Because at that point, you'll get more Republicans who are going to come running in. This is what we were talking about on Sunday. Joe wasn't there, so he's learning a lot right now. Yes. He was out with the grandkids, which is great. And then I understood he ate major candy and cake and stuff. That's Joe. We got to talk to Joe one day. Look at that smile. I know him too well. So, right? Oh yeah. Well, I don't blame you. It's Christmas, right? It's Christmas and New Year's. You got to have a great time. But you have all this going on, and now you're going to have this is what we said last week, was it's going to have to break up MAGA and Republicans, because there's no way the Republicans can allow the Obamacare payment subsidies to end. Because what happens is that now adds to affordability. You can't afford food. You can't afford your utilities. You can't afford insurance at the house. You can't afford a house. Unemployment's going up. Inflation's going up 3% a year, which compounds and goes on top of it. And now you can't afford insurance, health insurance. How are you going to run with this come the election? Trump will say tonight in the victimization speech, Joe, feel free to throw stuff in there in the mosh pit if you want. I see you looking, and if you have something, let me know. Okay, let me know if you want me to jump in somewhere. But on the victimization speech tonight, not only is Trump, this is all just I think, not only is Trump going to blame Biden for for like 20 minutes or about. Then he's going to go on and say, the big, beautiful bill gave you tax breaks. So you're going to be getting big money when you file your taxes. Okay, we'll see how fast all that money comes in. Then the question, but he can't come up and say manufacturing jobs have gone higher. He can't get up there and say you can buy more than $2 for your child, that you're limited to $2. We got a real problem with this, and that's why now you're seeing the MAGAs and the Republicans break. Of course, your friend Marjorie Taylor Greene, he loves her. Marjorie Taylor Greene is up there saying Trump is like becoming yesterday, because he is a lame duck, and it's becoming obvious he's a lame duck. I don't know what she's definitely setting herself up for governor or senate or something, I have to assume, or to make big money in a consulting. But that's what's going on. This is what we called for on Sunday. So look at it now as it cleaves. Now, Johnson, who has no power, the Speaker of the House has no power, as long as he holds his Trump Bible. He's a Bible toter, but I always am convinced, who knows? It's the Trump Bible. And I think when you hold the Trump Bible, you have trouble like laying it all really out there. It's like, because, it's hard. It's a Trump Bible. It's not the Bible. It's a Trump Bible. So you have that. And I think he probably wears that Trump watch. Have you seen that, Joe? The president's selling watches on TV on Fox News. I'm watching this. I can't believe it.
That's great.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Doesn't have enough money, has to.
Well, yeah, but that takes more money from people who don't have it to buy the stuff. Affordability problems get higher. But tonight he's going to say you're going to get tax refunds. And all this stuff we did are going to kick in before the election, and blah, 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 blah. I'm telling you, when you hear him blah, 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 it's much better. I tell everybody all the time, pick up Iggy Pop's album, blah, blah, blah. It sounds so much better than what you're going to hear tonight. Unless the president says we're going to war with Venezuela, and there's some type of conflict ahead of time, so he can act like the big tough guy with the stick or something like that. That's what I think is going to happen tonight. I see nothing else happening. I say don't even watch it, because he'll probably try to hold to a type thing. Don't watch it, and then watch the wrap-ups later. It doesn't matter if you watch it on Fox or CNN or MS Now, any of them. It doesn't matter, but just do that. So that's what I think is going to happen tonight. So we have that problem. So here we have the first real mutiny. You're going to have a vote to make the House deal with the health the health premiums. Next, they're standing up to Hegseth now. They passed the House. The House passed the bill previously. The Senate just passed a defense appropriations bill. And in it says that Hegseth's money he gets for travel is cut by 25%, unless it's like mommy slapping him, but it's about time, isn't it? It's cut by 25% unless he's open and honest and shows them the commands, all videos and everything of the Venezuelan strikes. And the Venezuelan strikes are the same issue we've had with everything else. Cover up, cover up, cover up. Epstein, cover up. Venezuelan strikes, cover up. January 6th hearings with Jack Smith today, cover up. The Republicans don't want stuff to come out. It's just cover it up, cover it up, cover it up. Let the guys out of jail who stormed the Capitol, but cover up Jack Smith's testimony and have their favorite judge down in Florida be unwilling to let the stuff come out that she put under seal for the people to see on Jack Smith's case. Okay, so cover up, cover up, cover up. But here we have that cover up, but it's really a little bit worse because, as I said before on Sunday, I think Hegseth's in big trouble. When the Democrats finally take control, and you have a president who's Democratic, I said this. That's another one of my predictions. It won't happen next year, but it's coming. I would not want to be Pete Hegseth. You can believe that some attorney general will be coming after him, a national attorney general will be coming after him, charging him or trying to get him indicted or do something, because he is the face of what Trump has become. And nobody will go after Trump, but Hegseth is easy. So you go after him. I think he's finished. I would not want to be Pete Hegseth. Okay, I just wouldn't want to be. You see, Bongino's leaving the FBI now.
He is?
As of Friday, he's smart. He's getting out of there. He's
done.
Getting
out of Dodge.
Right, but he already fired all the people who were good there. But he's gone, and thank you. Who knows what they're going to put in there? But
so when are the Epstein files supposed to be released? Isn't that
a couple days?
You think it's going to be released?
No, some of them. And they'll say we weren't able to get them all released. It's taken so long. Look, just put it out there. But this is the cover-up administration. It doesn't matter if it's Epstein. It doesn't matter if it's the boat they blew up. Look, remember, they showed everybody them blowing up the boat. They just wouldn't show anybody what happened 45 minutes later when they blew up the people. So if you're going to show us that you blew up the boat, show us that you blew up the people. I think that Admiral's going to have a problem too. And but I don't know. I'm not a jack.
Yeah, I mean, obviously something looks bad, or they would show the video.
Cover up, cover up, cover up. The Trump administration covers up everything. Everything. Spartacus, you're right. Trump and the Bible should be used together. But if you're willing to pay for it, throw in the watch while you're at it. You have an end of season sale. So you go forward with this, and it just makes it really, I really think Hegseth's in trouble, but I think we're going to look at this and go, even without the full disclosure of the strikes, is he the guy to lead our guys into war? Is Trump the guy to lead our guys into war? Because I have to believe that the Venezuelans are going to push it. And if they push it, and we want to do gunboat diplomacy, we just got to take them out. Or our words, nothing. It'll be like Obama when he had the red line, remember with Syria, if they dropped the poison gas or whatever that was, and they knew that they dropped the poison gas or whatever the chemical was, and the president did nothing about it.
So what happened?
So everybody knows, before you ask, all our MAGA friends know, I got on the president about that. I got on President Obama about it, and I called him out on it. And I'd like President Obama. He just blew that one. Go ahead, Joe. What's your question?
I mean, suppose they take out the Navy. What purpose does that serve?
Well, you're the tough guy. You can run your hemisphere.
You think Maduro's popularity in his country is going to go down or up?
It's not a matter of popularity in the country. The generals around him in the military are like a mafia. They get paid massive amounts of money. They also have major Cuban people, a lot of Cubans there. So that's who he's got around them. It's not the people, it's them. And most of the people don't like him left. Left. Ramon men. I apologize. If Trump was involved, look, I don't think Trump's involved in the Epstein thing. I mean, he is. His face is all over it, but I don't think he did anything bad. The question is, why would he want to cover it up? That's the only question there. And I just don't see a reason. If there was something there and you're right and there was nothing there, then why cover it up? That's the question. That's the only question. Like the moon, just like JFK, Martin Luther, Charlie Kirk. I'm not sure what Lady Hawk's saying. Dan's going back to his podcast. Yes, he is. Catchy little tune. Where is it? It's only the 8th time the Jews exile out of their state. I don't understand that either. Are you talking there, Lady Hawk, about Jews being thrown out of countries over thousands of years? Look, that's history. Let's get one thing straight here, though. I think you got another problem coming down, and that is in the Coast Guard. We want to hit this. I'm just hitting all this stuff. I don't care if we get a lot of viewers or not. The Coast Guard has a workplace harassment policy. I don't know if you've heard about this, Joe. And it came out, they had a big thing about this about a month ago. And it downgrades swastikas and nooses from hate symbols to potentially divisive. Okay? So they had a big thing about this and dealt with Admiral Kevin Lunday, who was the Admiral of the Coast Guard. And he supposedly, I wasn't involved in the discussions, he supposedly said that, and I think I saw stuff about it, that he was putting out a separate rule that will overrule the Coast Guard manual on this. Well, guess what happened? The Coast Guard manual came out, and it kept swastikas and nooses as potentially divisive. Now, why does the Kristi Noem, because they're under Kristi Noem and they're under Trump, why are these people, and I think he's also on the Coast Guard, I think maybe separate, why are these people so willing to split this country up? Swastikas and nooses, and a supervisor can look at it and say it's okay. So you can be in the Coast Guard, you can get a big swastika put on you and go, hey, yeah, see, look at this. I got a swastika on my bicep. I'm tough. Or I got it on my chest. I'm tough. And don't tell me that isn't like a calling fire in the theater, in the movie theater. That's just jive. The swastika, let's get this straight, because I'm tired of all these people like saying the Nazis are okay. Nazis not only hated Jews, Nazis hated the gypsies, Nazis hated Americans, Nazis hated everybody that weren't Nazis. Nazis were the enemies and are the enemies of America. Nazis went to war with America. The Nazis are our enemies. People who push Nazism are pushing our enemies. You want to say you got the right under the First Amendment? Feel free. But there is no basis to be a supporter of the Nazis. And when the Coast Guard, the Admiral of the Coast Guard, basically says, hey, I'll leave it up to the people, to my supervisors to decide what to do. Now, we'll see if this gets updated later. And people can just put that on, or a noose, so the black Coast Guard members can go, oh, isn't that a cool noose? Isn't that a cool noose? But nooses aren't good, because if you remember this during the Revolutionary War, they hung Americans, the British, when they were behind lines. The noose is the noose, baby. And people are allowing this to go. This is Kristi Noem. This is the president. This is all of them. So what has happened is 2 senators have put a freeze on his promotion and said, you ain't getting promoted to whatever top admiral or whatever it is, because you did this, and that we're going to see this. But I want to make it clear, because I don't know why people come on with this. They can say what they want. Nazi is not American. Nazi is anti-American. Nazi is completely and absolutely our enemy. And it doesn't matter what religion you are. It doesn't matter who you are and where you come from. If you're an American, Nazism is your enemy, Joe.
Yeah, sometimes a white sheet's just a white sheet, right?
Oh, yeah, right.
I guess that'll be next.
Yeah, let the Coast Guard guys wear the white sheet. That'd be great.
Wear the little pointy white hat and a white sheet, and, what's wrong with that?
And they'll be able to wear a mask because they don't want to be doxxed.
Yeah, right, exactly.
That'll be perfect, won't it? So we got Christy Nome, who's always getting her face done and getting it all together and taking care of her friends, giving them a major contract so they can make major money in her department. And she's doing nothing about this. The president does nothing about this, but we encourage our Coast Guard members to do what they please. And if a swastika is something, I mean, you hear some of these guys go, I didn't know a swastika was bad. It doesn't mean it's bad. I put it on. When I put it on, it doesn't mean it's bad. It means it's bad. It's horrible. It's anti-American, period. Tucker Carlson, you can believe what you want, and all the others. It's anti-American. And so it doesn't matter. You want to talk Jewish, Catholic, it's anti-American. Here we are. But is this that could release because the investigation was still ongoing, right? I said, you don't know. Oh, Ramonin. Look, I have to admit, I'm not a proctologist. Did you see what Ramonin wrote there?
No, let me see. You don't know crap?
SHIT.
Yeah.
I'm not a proctologist, and I agree with you. I only know my own. Next, here we go. That makes it okay for Trump to murder people. Of course it does. Facts. Mike Pence, comments. Here we go. Coming. It's all just coming. And we see it's just all starting to happen. What do you think, Joe? You tell me, would you think it's good that we have our military people wearing swastikas?
No, I mean, it's the whole thing is ridiculous. It's I don't know. The guy is losing it right now. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if we have to invoke the 25th Amendment at some point.
It never happened. Go ahead.
Yeah, it shouldn't happen, but I mean, the guy is losing it. He's lost all filter. He never had much of a filter, but whatever he had is gone now. And the good news is there's cracks in his armor. Even among Republicans, people are beginning to see that this guy doesn't have it anymore.
That's why we called it the Mutiny. That's our title.
Exactly. And so that's the theme for today, I think, is that that people are beginning to see clearly what this guy's all about. He has no empathy. You know, I hate to say it, the poor guy's probably suffering in his own way. I think he's got some sort of, disorder. Doesn't have any friends. He's so desperate to get his name on everything to leave a legacy. And anybody who's that desperate, there's something wrong.
But he's always been this way. If you saw Susie Wiles, his chief of staff,
Right.
Vanity Fair, she said, and he went with it, that he's like an alcoholic. You should know about this.
Yeah, exactly.
Who doesn't drink.
Well, I mean, we talked about it before in here that he acts like he's addicted to attention.
Well, it pushes, but he just said he just thinks he can do anything and everything. That's what she said. And her dad was Pat Summerall, who I understand was a major alcoholic. So she knew how to deal with the two, knows how to deal with him.
The problem is people are in the field, we call it enabling, that everybody knows the person has a problem, but rather than address the problem, they enable the person to stay in their addiction. And I think Trump has lived his whole life with enablers, that people have let him get away with stuff and not held him accountable. But I think time is coming when he is going to be held accountable.
Nothing's going to happen to him, Joe. Unless you believe in heaven and hell, nothing's going to happen to him.
No, I do. So I think something will happen to him.
Okay, well, then I'll go with that. But nothing on this
Christmas miracle.
Yeah, but nothing on this earth's going to happen. He's just going to be president. He'll do his thing. And then everybody will leave him alone. And then they'll just say, happy we're rid of him. And as we get to the new political leaders who are Republicans.
He'll be the most quickly forgotten president of all time.
Well, he'll be remembered. They'll go, wow, he's great. And they'll let him come to the convention. But their focus will be who the new dude is. There'll probably be a guy who the new dude is and run with it from there. So it's just, and tonight's, that's what I'm saying. You watch tonight, he's going to seem like an old guy. I'm convinced. I don't care how much.
Well, he'll either read from the teleprompter with low energy, or he'll go off script and start talking about the snakes for 20 minutes.
Unless we go on to war, and he has to talk about that. But he can't really talk much about it. He's got to go to Congress.
Yeah, theoretically, shouldn't he ask for...
But he's not going to say war. What he's doing, I'm telling you, it's like gunboat diplomacy. He's pushing, hoping they're going to fire the first shot, or he's going to say they fired the first shot. And then you go kaboom. That was the Gulf of Tonkin. That was the Maine. That was all those places where we just wanted to go, I mean, 9/11 really happened. That's a little different. But we should have gotten in and gotten out of there. And it's, but this. So I just think we've got that issue coming, and it's going to be really interesting to see what happens.
So you think the good result could be get rid of Maduro, put somebody else in there, and then move on?
Why are we putting anybody in there? Look, you have the woman. I keep forgetting her name. I apologize. She won the Nobel Prize. She won the Nobel, and I think her husband won previously. She won the election. Look, go and just an American citizen. I said it. I've always been against this guy. He's dirt. But now we're taking him on. I really think we want Cuba, and they look at it as if we take out, well, he wants the oil. But if you look at taking out Maduro, Cuba has it's like Iran has Hezbollah, Syria, Hamas. They have Colombia. They work closely with Colombia. Cuba is heavily infiltrated inside there. So, and supposedly Marco Rubio hates the Cubans.
Yeah.
The Cuban government. Look, it's not a good government. And so you sit there and they're just trying to go in, and that would be another way to hurt them. It's Devo. It's de-evolution. We want to send our gunboats down there to just say, hey, we're tough. Hey, we're everything. You know, when Hitler was talking, I wish I had the interview with me. I'm sorry I don't, but I'll look it up and have it for you next time. Hitler talked about the Monroe Doctrine. In Europe, they talked about the European Monroe Doctrine. They had this years ago.
Is that America's first, huh?
Yeah,
America's first.
Yeah, well, we were first, but then they're all following along. If America's got a Monroe Doctrine, you do too. And all he did was the Monroe Doctrine was strictly that you don't colonize in the northern and southern hemispheres. How many people are you going to colonize on a wooden ship going down there? I mean, it's just crazy. So, but it's Devo. We are devolving. We are going backwards. I keep coming. How long have I been coming to this? It's so obvious. We're doing tariffs. The whole thing is getting smashed. Watch them talk tonight about trying to send money to everybody. Oh, I'm going to send you a check with the tariffs that I taxed you for so I could take your money, and now I'm going to give it back to you, kind of like what he did to the farmers. What do you got here? Who you going after? Dr. V's doing something. I don't know what he is. We're going to come to that.
Looking at the chat.
So tonight we're going to have the victimization speech. But I'll tell you, the other thing I want to know is why won't, Jack Smith, who I mentioned it earlier, but Jack Smith, who prosecuted Trump and moved forward, didn't prosecute, but went after him on the classified documents. And Trump took him down to Mar-a-Lago and did all that stuff and hit him and put him in the bathroom. The Republicans are bringing him in and want to tell everybody, look, Jack Smith's some dirtball, and hey, but why are these hearings closed? Why don't they let the American people hear what's going on? Why are the Republicans, once again, Trump and the others, why are they afraid of letting us hear what's there?
And why
won't Judge Eileen Cannon lay it out there?
It's called enabling. I mean, at this point, I don't even blame Trump anymore. It's clear what's going on, that he has this issue that he needs to be the center of attention for everything. It's the people around him that are not calling him out on it. That's the issue.
Going to look, he didn't hire these people to call him out. The issue is he's the president. Quit blaming the people around him.
I'm blaming the people around him.
You can blame them all you want, and you can deal with them after they're out of office. The thing is, it's all Trump. And to take any of the blame off of Trump's shoulders is BS. If Trump,
I don't think he can help it. I don't think he can help himself.
All he has to say, Joe, is do it. Let everybody hear what Jack Smith has to say. But he doesn't want people to hear it.
Of course, why would he want people to hear it? Why would he?
My point exactly. It's Trump. It isn't the people around him.
No one holding him accountable is the issue. If he can keep getting away with it, why should he change? Because
you can get away with it when you control Congress and you're president and you have almost total immunity given to you by the supine court. What's happening is, this is what I told you was going to happen months ago, and then started talking last Sunday when you didn't join us because you were too busy eating your Mounds bars or whatever, Almond Joys. They're both great bars, by the way. I love them both. Though I like Almond Joy better because I like that almond on the top.
Not a fan.
Delicious. Okay. But I mean but that's the bottom line here. Trump just doesn't want to get it out because he's afraid. He's afraid of what it's going to say. He's afraid of the truth because he knows the truth.
Of course.
And so it's not anybody around.
It'll look bad. Why should he release something to look bad?
But it has nothing to do with the people around him.
It's everything to do with the people around him.
None.
Why should he change his behavior if there's no consequences for acting the way he acts?
The only consequences will be, which is what we're starting to see now.
Right.
Attacking the mutiny in the Republican Party.
The mutiny, that's the key.
But it's not the people around him. The small mutinies that are coming
up.
up.
His chief of staff mutinied.
That was no mutiny. She just told it like it
was.
Well,
she expressed the truth. That's what I'm talking about. Mutiny is speaking the truth. And there is somebody within his personal circle who spoke the truth.
But not to go after him. So he's
you don't have to go. You just hold him accountable and let him know.
Hold him. She's not her job. All the commentary, and I read part. I'm sorry. I read a lot of the commentary. All that said was she basically said that it's her job to enable him, not to stop him, but to enable him.
But what she said clearly was, I have experience in enabling people.
Right.
Okay. That was what I do for Trump.
Right.
So she put it right out there. So people can see in black and white that he is being enabled by people.
But what's the shock? Let me ask you. In your business, you hire people who are going to do what you tell them to do. You got a good, strong moral center. You're straight. You don't lie or anything. But the people you hire are there to do what you need them to do. Trump hired these people. So you got to take a step back and look at it. He hired them because the last time he hired them and they stopped them. So he got people this time. It makes sense. It's all Trump. He came in and said, I want this done, and I'm going to hire these people who are going to do it for me. They're more than enablers. They're sycophants. They're cultists in that way, some of those people up there. So you look at this and you go, okay, right on, it makes sense, but it's all Trump. And it's not a matter of attention. It's a matter of power. It's a matter of having the ultimate power that I can call women piggy, that I can do this, that I can go to war, that I can put on tariffs, that I can tell people to ignore it, it's all power. He has the attention. He doesn't need it. He just says it's power. He can sit down with a Nazi and say it's okay because he's got power, and he sat down with a Nazi. Two of them. Remember Kanye and this other guy, the other Nazi lover running around, who says that Churchill was an enemy and he started the war. Ooh, I mean, you really got to wonder about these people. It's almost like the moon was made out of green cheese. I'm waiting for them to say it. I don't know how good green cheese tastes, and I sure wouldn't want to taste it, but I don't think it's made out of green cheese. Or tell me we didn't land on the moon. Or tell me that the sun rises in the west. Even Archie Bunker knows he doesn't like a sun that goes down in the west. He said that in his last scene with Rob Reiner, with Meathead, when Meathead said he was going to be going to California and wanted to say, I love you. What a great All in the Family. And he's sitting there going, yes, and you could see they really loved each other. And he said, you can come out and see us. And he went, I don't like to see the sun going down into an ocean. I like to see the sun coming out. Even Archie knows this, okay? But people are just going for this jive. So that's what you're going to hear tonight is jive. Biden, this, that. Horrible. That's okay. Don't waste your time. But, Joe, don't blame anybody else. Blame Trump.
Blame is too strong a word. Let me rephrase it.
No, I'm going to I'm going
to rephrase it.
I'm going to let you blame somebody, and then you can rephrase it.
Go ahead.
Blame the voters that were on the fence and decided to go for Trump, and Trump won because of it. Blame those people who are now crying and bemoaning the fact that Trump is the president when they voted for him. You can give them the blame. They voted for him.
I'm not a blame kind of guy in general. Okay. I'm not going to blame Trump. I'm not even going to blame the voters who were misled by him.
Oh.
But what I will do is give credit to the people who are willing to stand up and hold them out as examples.
That's us.
And hopefully that's part of this community here, is that we expose what's going on so people can see it clearly. We do our best to hold people accountable by shining truth to things so that people can then make up their own mind. And there are other people in Congress, there are people in other communities that are beginning to do that. And what I see and what makes me happy and optimistic for the next year is increasingly people are willing to stand up to the guy, and they're less fearful of the consequences to them, and they're more willing to stand up to help hold people accountable for trying to hide the truth.
Listen,
Truth. There you go.
Because
Period.
you're saying they're doing it for some noble, they're doing it because they want to be reelected. These guys are afraid. Listen to these congressmen. Come on, it's 2020.
Let me have my.
They're so dignified. They are so dignified. Okay, Joe,
I know they're all in districts that went for Harris, and they want to keep their jobs.
No, give them their dignity, Joe. Tell us. Let me tell you about Joe Volpicelli. I'm going right into this microphone so everybody hears it. He's a believer. He just believes in the absolute good of everybody. Sometimes I just want to straighten him out. He believes, and I say, Joe, it doesn't work that way. He's going, man. He's saying they're mutinying because they're doing the right thing. No, the right thing so they can take care of themselves. But I'm going to turn it back over to Joe so you understand. This is a guy who just believes in the essence of the soul. He just does that. Maybe that's why I love him so much.
I believe in the American people. I believe the American people are good people.
They are.
Well, we all want the same thing. No, we want to be able to live our lives. We want to be able to make connections. We want to be happy, healthy, prosperous. But when most of us, I would say virtually all of us, don't want to do it at the expense of other people. That most of us have empathy. Most of us want to be good citizens. And a good citizen means you look out for other people in this country. And I do believe that. And I believe we, unfortunately, have gotten under a spell where people are pointing fingers at other people and blaming them. And that gives them justification to act like an asshole themselves because the other person acted like an asshole. Stop. We got to stop that. That's a vicious cycle where you just keep acting worse and worse. Stop it. Be a good person. Be a good guy. Let the other person live their life. Try to help out other people. I mean, it's the season for it, but the whole year should be the season for it.
Preach, Joe. Preach.
I am preaching. I mean, it's so many people are hurting right now. I see it in my clinic. I see it all over the place. That people are just hurting. They're stressed. They are drinking. They're using drugs. They're discouraged, and it's because people feel a sense that it doesn't matter. That everyone's just out for themselves. That there's a small group of people that are making a lot of money, and everybody else is just struggling to get by. And the people who are making the money are able to evade any kind of accountability. And that's what this Epstein thing is all about. It's that people believe, you could call it conspiracy, but maybe it's not even a conspiracy. Maybe it is one of those things that Vance would say is a true conspiracy, that people have gotten away with a lot of crap because they have power, wealth, money, and connections. And people don't like that because most Americans are not that way.
We talk about the K. And I'm with you. Most Americans are good people. That's what's hurting. Unfortunately, you didn't see us last Sunday. That's what's hurting Trump on politics. Because I said, when you look at the way they're dealing with immigrants, I gave Trump full credit, and I still do, for closing up the borders. But the way they're handling throwing people out by just taking Americans and doing the rest, putting them in jail, taking good, hardworking immigrants who are really here, have families and everything, and just beating them up. People are not happy with it, and they're having a real problem because those are mostly good Americans. And I agree with you. Let me hit the...
So I mean, give us a like. If you agree that most Americans are good people, give us a like. Show some support that this is what you believe too, is that we can work together to solve these issues, and working together is the way to do it.
Which has been a major theme of me and Dr. V since the beginning. Hello, PVC from the Ukraine. I'm sorry, from Ukraine, from the UK. PVF, good to see you. We've got New Mike from Northeast India, Nagaland. Right on, man. We got everybody coming in. We got there he is. And now we have some questions. Jonathan, I don't know if I can agree. We shouldn't blame anyone. We have one person who has the power. That's the president. And he is the one who leads the country in the way we go. And if there are things that are good or bad, he gets the blame. Blame doesn't mean necessarily bad. It can be good. He closed the borders. But what he's done since then is absolutely horrible. You also asked about Australia, Jonathan. Let me just throw this out. How do I feel about the Bondi Beach? And you asked a whole lot of questions there. I don't live in Australia. I don't know anyone who lives in Australia, but I've been following what's been going on. And for the last 2 years, it appears, there have been major attacks on synagogues, on different Jewish groups, on kids and everything. And the government has done nothing and just allowed it to go on or done very little. Now, I'm not there, but it just seems to be getting ramped up more and more and more and more. Israel does the shooter have ties to Iran? Who knows? All I know is that he is radicalized and he hated Jews, and it appears he wanted to just kill Jews. It's the two of them. It's just that simple. Meanwhile, it appeared you had another person who is Muslim, I think, who jumped the father or jumped one of them and took him down and took the gun. I don't know if he is, but his name appears Arabic or something. He's a hero, okay? So it's not an issue of just Muslim or this, that, or the other. It's an issue of the government standing up and saying, hate has to end. We can't let this happen anymore, okay? And the Australia Prime Minister was in many ways just bending over backwards, worrying about being reelected down the road, keeping everybody happy. And it has nothing, I don't think it has anything to do with the Palestinian state. It simply has to do with absolute negligence on the part of the Australian government. To have two guys come in with guns and just take people out, where were the cops? Where were the cops? And that's what tells you about how bad it is in Australia. You have all these people there. You know there are threats. You know you have people getting killed. And we're talking Australians. Whether they're Jewish or not, they're Australians. It's going to bring us back to us being Americans here. They did nothing. The government did nothing. It was not prepared, had no defense, did nothing. And that Australia Prime Minister should take full blame because he's totally blown it over the last 2 years. Completely and absolutely. And let me tell you, you don't want to be a minority in Australia the way that Australian PM acts. That's my response to all that. Let's talk here and raise that issue here also. I'm sick and tired, and Joe has heard this from me for so long, and it's all over my Just an American Citizen. I'm sick and tired of everybody calling themselves something before American. You're an American. When you're an American, you have rights that nobody else has. When you're an American, you're a part of the group. You're a part of the community. Americans don't go after other Americans and say, well, you're a different kind of American. Guess what? If I put you in Ancestry.com, you will find that your heredity doesn't go back to the American Revolution, does it, Joe? I bet you your great-great-grandparents weren't fighting for us back then. I can tell you mine weren't. Mine were busy running from country to country, hoping to find a place to live. They found a great country, America, the greatest country in the world. God, I said this all the time on Sunday, and I say it all the time. Joe just shakes his head. This is where he and I are a little bit different. But Joe believes. Joe's a believer. Quit breaking us up. Quit sitting there and saying, I'm Jewish this, Catholic that, Indian this, who knows what that. We are Americans, and we come together and start working as one. And we're starting to see it because people are starting to stand up and let people know what they think. And I tell you, this is still the greatest country in the world. And if people want to go back to Monroe, James Monroe, I want to throw this out there, for the Monroe Doctrine. When you hear about it, you'll probably hear about it tonight, the Monroe Doctrine. I want to throw this out. Back then, when you took a poop, They threw it out the window. So I believe you had to read, it was like in Philadelphia, the boyfriend, girlfriend be walking. I think the girlfriend stayed on the inside and had like an umbrella, and the guy was on the outside. So when the poop got thrown and everything, the woman didn't get hit. That was good living. You had malaria like crazy because all the mosquitoes came in and bit you, and you had to leave Philadelphia. That was good living. You sat there and drank more alcohol than anybody at all times because you couldn't drink the water because the water would make you sick. That was great living. What that was were great people who stood up and helped make this country great. But don't tell me we're going back to then. You crazy? I'd like to send them back then, put them in a Philadelphia or a New York, a Florida summer day and stick them down there without the air conditioning. Well, Florida wasn't around then. It was, but it was Spanish. It was Spanish. And you remember why Georgia was established, Joe? A little American history.
Oh, was that a penal colony or something?
Yeah, what they did, kind of Oglethorpe.
Kind of.
They let all the debtors out of the debtor.
Oh, the debtors. Okay.
Let me tell you, that was another great way to live. You owe a little money, you go to jail. I mean, we really should go backwards. I'm a believer that de-evolution for us is tremendous. Let's go back to that. So they took all the people, they let out all the debtor prisons and some other crazies, gave them to James Oglethorpe, put Georgia down there to border Spain so Spain couldn't come up and do it. That was the whole idea. And they figured, those people die, who cares?
Keep all the Floridians down there.
Exactly. That's exactly. They didn't want any Floridian who spoke Spanish, Espanol, coming up there and doing anything. So that was the reason for the Georgia and really how it got populated. A little bit of American history. People, I mean, it's more than that, but that's kind of generally it. Stuff people should know about. But that's where we are with all this. So here, but stop it. We're Americans. We're Americans. I'm going to say it again. We're Americans. And those who are here in America who are working and trying to become Americans or just trying to raise families and try to make money and try to just do okay. Let's come together, man. We have so many enemies in the world. Putin hates us. The Russians hate us. The Chinese hate us. I mean, some of them are cool, but most of them are under Xi. We have to come together now. Now, the Europeans don't like us anymore. Why should they? Should they? I don't know if the Japanese trust us. I don't know if the South Koreans trust us. I don't even know if the Australians trust us. And we have a big deal, a big defense treaty with them. So you sit there and you go, now, if we don't start looking at each other, now we have to draw moral sustenance from each other. I'll take Joe's morals. We as Americans have to take our moral sustenance. We're going to break out of these chains and go out and make this country great again, because it was great. It's still great, but really make it great and not go backwards to the dreams of Donald Trump and MAGA. Devo is horrible. Those are little snails with little tails, and that's what it is. Joe, America is the amendments, the Constitution, the Declaration of Independence, all that is the brew, the broth that we all are one of. And then people come in from different countries, and it's like sticking in some pepper and salt and this base seasoning, and just put it in there, and you stir it up and put a little chicken in, or keep it vegetarian, whatever you want to do. Just throw it in there, and suddenly that soup tastes so good because it's all the different people that come in who all believe the same, that we are one, that we all have one idea we come from, in belief of liberty, the belief of rights, and quit allowing those guys up top splitting us up.
Yeah. No, I agree. I mean, it's okay for people to feel proud of their heritage. And I like it that there are people from different cultures here. I wasn't into Mexican food much, but now I really like it, and so the various cuisines and the culture, and I celebrate Cinco de Mayo Day now, and just all the wonderful cultures. It gives you a flavor of the cool things going on around the world. So you don't have to put other people down to feel proud about your own culture.
No, you don't. But still be proud of your nation. Be proud of what you
be proud of a country that believes everyone deserves the freedom to pursue happiness. to pursue life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness.
Life, liberty, justice. The pursuit of happiness really isn't in the Constitution per se as an amendment.
All right. Well,
but it's nice if you can be happy. It's nice if you can be happy. But it's like, how can you be a little side thing? How can you be happy when you got a president who puts out true social stuff after Rob Reiner dies?
I mean, that's
sick. All that being just taken apart.
That's opposite of America.
The man, right? Americans, I think Americans are seeing it. Have got to understand it. I'm going X. I see some of these people. They go, oh, they're proud of it because he says, "God bless." Maybe God bless. That's always his jive. He throws in something after. They died because of their Trump derangement syndrome. How sick is that? How sick is this man? He is really sick.
He doesn't have any empathy. Everything centers around how it relates to him.
He's just sick, Joe.
Well, I don't disagree he's sick. But I mean, for me, sick means something different than maybe when you say sick. For me, it's a condition that needs to be called out and treated. And if you have an addiction, you call it out, hold people accountable, and then you treat it.
How do you treat power hungry? You've got all the power.
Well, I mean, it's very difficult to treat people who have that particular disorder that Trump has. But
one person, because he's got the power to do it. You can't treat it. You got to.
It's really interesting because I've never seen someone with that particular condition who's been this successful and got as much power as he had. Usually, a person's been held accountable before they've gotten to the point. So now it's an interesting case history because now we get to see what happens when someone with this disorder who has this need for more and more power, who actually gets all this power, what actually happens. And the end result's not going to be pretty. And it's not going to be what he was hoping for.
Not for him, but it's not going to be what we were hoping for either. It's going to be really interesting, Joe. I just don't know. I can't call that far off except saying I still think it's just unless the Republicans get smart and they all come over and make a quick deal with the ACA and make it, then the next thing's going to be, I talked about it, SNAP, the food stamps. That's going to you're going to start seeing lines in the middle of the winter of all this food lines of soldiers and Americans in food lines trying to get food. Unless the Republicans come over and do this, they're going to have to split inside the Republican Party to make it happen. And then they're going to go, and then the Democrats come out looking great because they go, look what we made them do. We forced them to do it. And the dumb Republicans, the president just he's lost it. I'm telling you, it's all power, which is okay. We deal with it, know for what he is. But what he wrote on this Rob Reiner thing goes beyond politics. And I have to believe that good Americans, which are most of the people, read something like that and have to be sickened by it. Absolutely sickened. Okay? Two people die, their kid kills them. What are you doing talking this way? What are you doing?
It's a good example of what his fundamental problem is. And, if people had any doubt, I mean, it's absolutely clear cut now. You don't need to be a doctor to be able to diagnose what's going on with the guy.
He's sick.
Yeah, he is.
At least when it comes to that, I'm sorry.
No, he is sick, and that's why I still think the 25th Amendment is not off.
That's all because there's nothing to stop him. He is what he is. But to put out stuff like that on True Social is just a problem. I'm sorry, and I think we have the right to say it. We have the right to call it out. And yeah, right, good time. They love us divided. That's what everybody wants. That's what the rich people want. That's what Trump wants. That's what the power wants. They want us divided. They do everything they can to divide us. It's the K economy. The people who have the money are going up, and the people who don't have it are going down. And those are the people who are getting screwed in Congress. Because remember this, Joe, even if they make a deal on the ACA, it's ended. It's over January 1st. You got to rejigger it up. You got to get it going. You got to get it moving, right? And then people are going to not have health care. You may have some doctors who can afford to let them in and do things, but how many doctors can afford to just keep taking patients who aren't paying or won't be able to pay? And most people aren't going to keep those who don't have the money will let the health insurance go. It's like these dumb plans that I hear from Johnson and the president about giving them their own health care, their own HCAs, their own health care bank account. But as soon as how much are you going to send them? $2,000, $4,000, and how much is that?
Covers 1 month.
And what's it going to take care of when you have a heart attack? And what's it going to take care of if you have kidney issue? What's it going to take care of if you got cancer and you got to take all these drugs? Where are you going to go? That money will be used for food. It won't even be used for healthcare. So it doesn't make any sense. They got to get this. This is Congress who has done nothing. Zero. They've been complaining about Obamacare for 15, 16 years, and it's on Congress. The Republicans in Congress have had plenty of time to come up with something. If they kept complaining, quit complaining, quit being a victim, give me a solution. And
I mean, to be fair, the healthcare system is broken and it really does need some reform. And I have some ideas about that. But I don't see anyone sitting down to really try to reform healthcare.
That's my point. They're doing nothing, Joe.
They're not doing anything, no.
Nothing.
I mean, I know these subsidies are still putting a Band-Aid on a serious wound that's still bleeding. But, people really need to sit down and look at the whole system and see what we can do to improve things.
Well, that's why I think, as I said earlier, they're having the mutiny. They will have the discharge on the bill. So that forces the Democrats, Republicans, assuming it passes, that forces the Democrats and Republicans to have to negotiate and go forward and try to deal with it. But it's been going 50. Remember when John McCain went like this? How long ago was this? These dudes are jive. They have been it's Congress. It's Congress. They've been letting this stuff fester, get worse and worse, and go, wow, it's going up in prices doing this. Well, tell me what you're going to do about it. Don't tell me you're going to drop $2,000 in the mail to somebody, or let the president say tonight, all those tariffs that we made all this money on that I stole from the people, I'm going to give some of it back to you and look like I'm a hero. I mean, is that going to help pay for these health accounts? I mean, it makes no sense at all. And it's going to be really bad. That's why these people are smart to move. But how long it's going to take months to get it back up? Now's not the time. Expand it 1 year, 2 years. I don't care. But use that time to get it done. And while you're at it, how about an immigration bill? So let's just get this.
Wouldn't that be nice?
Right. And what we should do is we should pay Congress's salaries into escrow. And when they deliver, they get the money. And if they don't deliver, they don't get the money.
I like that. Hold the whole Congress accountable.
Hold Congress's money and shut down their health care accounts and say you don't get health insurance unless you start showing these other people. And I'm sorry, changing it so these other people can get health insurance. How about that? And I keep saying it all the time. Well, the Constitution says that they have to be paid, the congressman. But it has a word value in there. They have to be paid. They're being paid for their value that they're giving us. If they ain't giving us value, what are we paying them for?
Not worth 2 cents.
Right. Their money should go into escrow. Congress's money should go into escrow. And Congress's money and their health care should be cut substantially until they do something. You know how fast they'll have something done? Forget them talking about term limits. You tell them they can't have money or health care, I'll bet you we'll have a bill passed in 3 weeks or a month.
Yeah.
Right? Wrong?
Yeah. No, I agree.
You want action? That's how you get action. You got to go after their pocketbooks. We're paying these guys. They're going back for Christmas and New Year's. I don't want to hear it. They took off all summer. They came back with tans. They looked marvelous. They were marvelous the way they looked. Tans, they probably had their nails done. They were listening to music, probably went to a couple concerts, got their hair done. The whole thing, these Congress people who did absolutely nothing. Zero, and got paid all that time. And now they're taking off again. What are we paying them for? Put their salaries into escrow, Joe. You don't have a problem with that, do you?
No, not at all. Not at all.
Okay.
But I think the solution is, just like in medicine, sometimes you have these wounds, these abscesses that fester. And the only way to cure them is you open up the wound and expose it to oxygen, expose it to light. And that's what kills the germs. And we need to do the same thing with our Congress, same thing with our society is hold people accountable by exposing them to the light, exposing them to the truth, so that people can make intelligent decisions about who they're going to elect.
You're right. Look at Julianne. $2,000 a drop in the bucket. Is somebody calling you? Is somebody calling you?
Soon, yeah.
So, well, me too. Compared to costs of healthcare, now you're right, Julian. I'm just doing a couple of mosh pits here, Joe. Maybe the red state voters will rebel if their insurance premiums skyrocket. Julian, I'm with that. And I think it's going to happen. I talked about it last Sunday. Okay, citizens should get the same insurance as Congress. Man, I like what she's saying here. Right on, Joe. I think you're ready for. You agree with all that?
Yeah, yeah.
They pay only bills. I don't know, new Mike. I'm not sure. Now it'll be all about the midterms. Totally good time, and we think we're going to have a real problem. I think the MAGAs are going to have the Republicans are going to have a real problem. So let's say it again. The album of the year, the album of the week, the album of every year. We are going backwards. Whenever you hear Monroe Doctrine tonight, assume it's the victimization. Scroll when the man's talking, Trump's talking on TV. I recommend waiting till the wrap up and turning on the wrap up your favorite station, unless he talks about war. Get ready. We're looking at what's going on in Venezuela. They're sending the Navy out, maybe to confront us. We've got that going on. You got Hegseth hiding things, and we have an admiral who's letting the Nazi, letting the swastika and hangman's noose sit out there on people because it's not really. It's just maybe you get people upset. That's where we're going in this country. We're going to be back on Sunday at 11. Are you going to be with us, Dr. V?
I would hope so. It's a special day, isn't it?
Don't talk about it. So we've got that going on. We'll see you then. And if you're square, don't be there. 11 o'clock. And that's the way it is.
Period.
We love you. Thank you. And rock and